You got a new man. Are the sparks sparking?
Sparkling, honey. 4th of July.
How did you guys meet? Did you reach out to him?
No, you're not supposed to reach out to a man. It was like mutual friends. I thought he was cute. I was like, oh, you gotta be mine.
Are you a football fan now?
Yeah, I'm a football fan, honey. I be in the screen on Sunday every day cursing people out. Pass the ball!
So have you gotten to go and watch him?
Not yet, because I've been preparing for my album. After this whole album thing, I'm going to every single game. Every single one of them. I could literally do a song, right? I would literally do a song. No, this song isn't that. I would take like a week or 2 weeks to just finish the song because I hate my accent so much now. Now that I hear it.
Kelly Rowland just said something in a new interview with Vibe that has people seriously debating whether she's about to do what only Beyonce and Rihanna have really pulled off. The question on everyone's mind right now is simple. Can Kelly Rowland drop an album with zero promotion and still see the same kind of success they did? Let's get into exactly what she said and why it sparked this conversation. Kelly has been that girl in music for over 2 decades. She helped build Destiny's Child into one of the most successful girl groups of all time, then carried that into a solo career with massive records like Dilemma and Motivation, selling millions along the way. So when she speaks about her career and her next moves, people listen. In the interview, Kelly was asked about her upcoming album, and her response was different from the typical promotional cycle artists usually lean into. She said she's reached a point where she doesn't want to keep talking about what she's working on. She said she doesn't want to give details, that she wants the work to just happen and be seen, rather than be explained ahead of time. And then she specifically named Beyonce and Rihanna, saying she loves how they move. They put the work in, they drop it, and they keep going. No long rollout, no constant interviews building anticipation, just the work, suddenly available, speaking for itself. That comment is what shifted the entire conversation. People took it as Kelly giving her sister and her peer their flowers for how they've approached their careers. But the moment those two names entered the conversation, the discussion stopped being about admiration and started being about comparison. Specifically, whether Kelly Rowland at this point in her career actually has what it takes to pull off the same move. To understand why this comparison carries so much weight, you have to understand what Beyonce and Rihanna actually did, because both of those moments fundamentally changed how the music industry thinks about album releases. Back in 2013, Beyonce dropped her self-titled visual album with zero advance promotion. No singles released ahead of time, no traditional rollout, nothing. The album appeared overnight, and it stunned the entire industry. At that point, very few artists had ever attempted anything close to that kind of release strategy. It went platinum within 11 days and remains one of the most successful surprise album drops in music history. It didn't just work commercially, it reshaped how labels and artists thought about marketing music going forward. Rihanna followed a similar blueprint with Anti, released January 28, 2016. Fans had been anticipating new music from her for a while, but no release date was ever confirmed publicly. People simply woke up one day and the album was out. It went platinum in a single day and eventually certified 6 times platinum. To this day, it's regarded as one of the strongest album drops of that era, both commercially and creatively. Both of those moments share something in common, beyond the surprise factor. Beyonce and Rihanna were, at the time of those drops, operating at the absolute peak of their cultural relevance and commercial power. Their fan bases were enormous, active, and primed to respond instantly to anything either of them put out, promotion or not. That's the part of the equation that people are now applying to Kelly's situation. Kelly's last studio album came out back in 2013, the same year Beyonce released her surprise album. For context, that's a significant gap in solo output, and that gap is exactly why people are split on whether the strategy that worked for Beyonce and Rihanna would translate the same way for her right now. The argument on one side is that Kelly has the pedigree and the built-in audience to make this work. She's not some new artist trying to manufacture buzz. She's a member of one of the best-selling girl groups in history, with decades of hit records and genuine goodwill from a fan base that has followed her since Destiny's Child. There's an argument that her name alone carries enough weight that a surprise drop would generate real curiosity and immediate streams, especially in an era where music discovery happens fast through social media, regardless of whether there was a traditional promotional cycle leading up to it. The argument on the other side is more skeptical. Beyonce and Rihanna's surprise drops worked specifically because of where they were in their careers at that exact moment. Both were dominating mainstream conversation consistently in the years leading up to those releases, with massive momentum already in motion. Kelly, while respected and beloved, hasn't had the same continuous mainstream presence in recent years that Beyonce and Rihanna had heading into their surprise album moments. The concern from that side is that without some form of build-up, even a small one, a Kelly Rowland album could risk arriving quietly rather than landing with the kind of cultural impact a true surprise drop is supposed to create. There's also a deeper question buried in this debate that goes beyond Kelly specifically, which is whether the surprise album strategy is something that requires a certain level of existing dominance to pull off successfully, or whether it's a strategy any established artist with a loyal fan base can use effectively, regardless of where they currently sit in the broader pop culture conversation. Some industry observers would argue the element of surprise itself generates attention regardless of an artist's current chart position, because the unconventional release becomes the story, which creates its own promotional engine. Others would argue that without an existing wave of momentum, a surprise drop can just blend into the noise of new music constantly hitting platforms. Since there's no pre-release campaign building anticipation to make the moment register as significant. What makes this conversation genuinely interesting, rather than just internet noise, is that Kelly herself seems aware of exactly what she's signaling by naming those two specific artists. She didn't just say she wants to keep things private. She specifically pointed to the two most famous surprise drop moments in modern music history as her inspiration. That's not an accidental comparison. Whether she fully executes a true no-promotion surprise release or ends up doing some hybrid version with a shorter, quieter rollout remains to be seen, but she's clearly thinking about her next album in terms of breaking from the traditional cycle of singles, interviews, and months of promotional build-up that most artists still rely on. There's also a broader context worth considering. The music industry has shifted significantly since 2013. Streaming numbers, social media virality, and algorithm-driven discovery mean an album can find its audience in ways that didn't exist when Beyonce first dropped her surprise album. A song doesn't need months of radio build-up to become massive anymore. It can take off from a single clip circulating online. That changes the calculation somewhat. A surprise drop today doesn't necessarily need the same scale of existing dominance to find an audience that it might have required in 2013, because the pathways for music to spread organically have multiplied. At the same time, that same environment makes it easier for a release to get buried under the sheer volume of content constantly competing for attention, which cuts the other way for an argument about whether Kelly's moment would land the way she's hoping. Where this actually lands is genuinely uncertain, and that's exactly why people are debating it so intensely. Kelly Rowland has earned, through decades of work, the right to approach her career however she wants. Whether that approach delivers the same seismic commercial impact that Beyonce and Rihanna achieved with their surprise drops is a different question entirely, one that depends on factors well beyond just the strategy itself: her current cultural visibility, the strength of the actual music, and whether her existing fan base is primed and ready to mobilize the moment new music appears without warning. What's clear is that Kelly is paying attention to how the two biggest surprise drop moments in modern music actually worked, and she's signaling that she wants to try something similar rather than following the conventional path she's used for previous albums. Whether that translates into the same level of success is something only the actual release will answer. Drop a comment. Do you think Kelly Rowland can pull off a surprise album drop the way Beyonce and Rihanna did, or does she need the traditional promotional rollout to make sure people show up for it,